Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Martha from Martha Is. Today's video is the second part in my April book haul. I had hoped that this month I was going to be able to get it into 2 videos, and in actual fact I think it's going to have to be 3. So, I mean, mainly because I'm saving you guys from it being a really long video, so you're welcome. Before I get cracking, if you haven't seen my last video, I will link it down below and in one of the top things. Please check it out. I am doing a 26-day challenge, a 26-day reading challenge to raise money for Bloody Good Period, which is a UK organisation tackling period poverty. So yeah, it's a really exciting challenge. I'm doing it with some really amazing women on Instagram, and I would love it if you could donate if you're able to. I'll put the Just Giving page in the link down below. Or just share on social media, anything to try and raise awareness of what we're doing. That would be amazing. We're running the challenge from the 1st of May to the 26th of May, and as I said, all of the details are in my previous video, so please check that out. So, book haul. I don't really know what to say. I bought more books. Cool. So in my last book haul video for this month, I tried to organise it into words, Martha. I tried to organise it by the bookshops that I was buying from, because what I've really been trying to do in lockdown is buy from independent bookshops, at least ones who are currently still able to operate, because I am basically living in fear that they're not going to survive this pandemic. And I don't know about you, but for someone who's as into books as I am, I was never really as aware or as into independent bookshops as I definitely should have been. I mean, there isn't really a great one kind of in my area, but it was only when we went on the book crawl in March with some of my friends, again from Instagram, that I really appreciated the independent bookshops. And of course, I discovered Mr. B's Reading Emporium on my mini moon to Bath last year, and that is the shop that basically this entire video is about, and it's not even sponsored, just to FYI. But yeah, so prior to Mr. B's and the book crawl, I didn't really shop a lot in independent bookshops. I shopped a lot in Waterstones. It wasn't that long ago that I was shopping a lot on Amazon. Boo. I don't do that anymore. And I shop a lot in places like Wordery. But anyway, shut up, Martha. Let's get on to the books. So, Mr. B's Reading Emporium is an incredible independent bookshop in Bath. They are genuinely amazing. So when we went on my mini moon, sorry Mr. AB, wasn't just mine, we went to Bath. So my husband, being the amazing man that he is, he took care of organising the mini moon, because I was basically low-key dying trying to organise the wedding itself. And I had seen about Mr. B's Reading Emporium, this amazing bookshop. I'd seen them on Instagram, but it just in my head, like I hadn't told him about it. I thought, yeah, one day I'd really like to go there. And so then when he told me that we were going to Bath for our mini moon, I was like, oh my God, I could go to Mr. B's. And unbelievably, the Airbnb, this beautiful flat that he booked for us, was literally in the same block of buildings as Mr. B's. I mean, is that meant to be, or is that meant to be? Yes. So basically, on like the first day of our mini moon, I went into Mr. B's and I got completely overwhelmed. Like, I don't know what happened. I was just wandering round and round and round and picked up one book. One book. And I think because of my brain was just like, cannot compute all of the books, and particularly because so many of the books were books I'd never heard of, and that is really the mark of a fantastic independent bookshop, because you can tell that it's run by people who love books and who really have curated their selection. And yeah, so I was basically just wandering around like a zombie, picked up one book, and then hilariously it was my husband who actually picked up a lot more books. But then that was the first day, but then I went back every day and bought books every day. I suddenly, something clicked, something switched on, and then I was just in there every day. And we came home, I think, between us with about 25 books. I wrote a blog post about it at the time. I'll link that down below. But anyway, so Mr. Bees is amazing. They are just run by a really fantastic team of people who, they just want to give you recommendations. Like, I'd go in every day and be like, right, recommend me something. And, so when I asked, for example, for a YA recommendation, I can't remember who it was that I first spoke to, but she gave me some suggestions, and I'd said that I wanted to try and have a more kind of diverse selection of YA books, because I was reading a lot that were taking place, particularly in America, like in high schools in America, a little bit in the UK. And she was like, yeah, okay. She recommended me a couple, and then and she thought, yeah, maybe there's not as many as we could have. And then I was like, no, that's fine. She'd given me like a pile of like 3 or 4. And so then I was just looking at the ones, she disappeared, and suddenly this other guy, I think his name was Henry, he comes in and he's like, are you looking for YA recommendations? So I was like, yes. And so then he recommended me a couple, and you could tell that like the first woman that I'd spoken to had been, obviously had felt like she hadn't done a good job, even though she had given me like 3 or 4 recommendations. So she'd gone in and she'd asked someone else and sent someone else to get me, to give me other recommendations. So that's the kind of like team of booksellers that they are. Like, they're not precious, they just want to get you the right book. And they also do reading subscriptions, and they also do a book spa, which is where you can go along and they give you tea and cake, and you just chat about books, and they recommend you some books like tailored to what you like, and then you buy books. So I was supposed to have a book spa. I got given one by my lovely in-laws for my 30th birthday last year, and their waiting list was so long that it was going to be on Valentine's Day this year. And then I had flu, so I didn't go. So then I moved it. But then the first date I could get is October. So I'm not doing it till October now. And I really, really hope that doesn't move in light of the pandemic, because of course they've had to cancel the book spas right now. So for all of you out there, if you've had a book spa postponed, I understand your pain, and I am with you. Anyway, I've been nattering on for so long, and I haven't even started on the book, so at this rate we're going to have to do a 4th video. No. Mr. Bees. So I think end of March, beginning of April, they have a function on their website called Recommendation Station, where you pop in like a couple of books that you like or that you've read recently, and they give you recommendations. And they give you, I think, a list of 4, and if you buy the whole list, you get 15% off. Obviously, I bought the whole list. Not an amateur over here. So this is the first one. So my recommendations, I believe, came from Sam at Mr. Bees. So I asked for something kind of uplifting but with substance. So for example, I think I said like The Flat Share. I absolutely love The Flat Share. The Flat Share is a romance, but there is real substance to it, in that it's talking a lot about healthy relationships and contrasting them with abusive relationships and stuff like that, but it is ultimately an uplifting romance. So that's the sort of thing I was looking for. So Sam recommended me Meet Me at the Museum by Anne Youngson. So this one is about Tina Hopgood, housewife and mother, writes a letter of regret to a man she has never met. She doesn't expect a reply. When Anders Larsen, a lonely museum curator, answers it, neither does he. Tina and Anders are searching for something, they just don't know it yet. As they bare their souls to each other, stories of joy, anguish and discovery pour out of them. Suddenly Tina stops writing and Anders is thrown into despair. Can their unexpected friendship survive? Love it. Yep, done. Next one he recommended me was Leonard and Hungry Paul by Ronan Hessian. Leonard and Hungry Paul are 2 quiet friends who see the world differently. They use humour, board games, love a board game, and silence to steer their way through the maelstrom that is the 21st century. This is a story of 2 friends trying to find their place in the world. It is about those uncelebrated people who have the ability to change the world, not by effort or force, but through their appreciation of all that is special and overlooked in life. I love that. Then there's this one, Girls Can't Hit by T.S. Easton. There are a few things Fleur Waters never dreamed she'd find herself doing. 1, scoring a goal in hockey. 2, dressing as a Saxon peasant. 3, climbing into a boxing ring. But life is full of surprises, and so it turns out is Fleur. A warm and witty novel about friendship, feminism and throwing the perfect punch. So I think all of those definitely meet the brief and sound lovely, so I need to get reading those. I did buy a 4th. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get it from the publisher, but the 4th one he recommended me was The Parisian. So I'm hoping to receive that at some point. So then there's some other books that I bought, which are to do with the award long lists and shortlists I've been talking about. So I requested that they send me Jacqueline Woodson's Red at the Bone. So this was before the shortlist was announced, and that was back when I was kind of toying with the idea of reading the long list, not sure, and obviously I didn't end up doing that. But I've seen this book a lot, and heard very good things. So because of that, I wanted to pick it up whether I read the long list or not. So I think I will try, even though it didn't make the shortlist, which a lot of people are not very happy about. I will probably try and read this soon because it's quite short. So, yeah. And then the next one I bought is Weather by Jenny Offel, because this one made the shortlist, the Women's Prize shortlist. And so this one I wasn't sure about because it's about climate change, which I am interested in. I've heard it's a bit of a stream of consciousness, which is not something I normally like. But again, it's quite short, so I'm willing to give that a go. And given that the Women's Prize has been extended to September, I've got loads of time. So I will try and read that shortlist. So then the other prize list I've been reading is the Jhalak Prize, which hopefully you know by now because I've been waffling on about it. So the shortlist was announced last month in April, and the winner will be announced on the 22nd of May. So one more that I bought from Mr. B's was Hostile Environment by Maya Goodfellow. So this is on the long list. It didn't make the shortlist, but again, I've nearly read all of the long list, so I think I will try and read this one as well, because this sounds so interesting to me, and I will link my Jhalak Prize long list video where I waffle on extensively about my ill-educated thoughts about the hostile environment, but hopefully this bit will help my journey to being a bit better educated on it. Then 2 books I bought from Hive, who are a really great online seller. So I think they source their books from the high street, but they also support the high street bookshops. So you can choose a high street bookshop to give a little commission to from your purchase. You can also choose to click and collect in your local high street shop. Obviously not at the moment, but when everything goes back to normal, you'll be able to do that. So from Hive, I purchased the one book in the shortlist that I do not have, the Jhalak Prize shortlist, which is Suncatcher by Ramesh Gunasekaran. And this one is a coming of age story about a boy in Ceylon, which is what Sri Lanka used to be called. I think it's like a historical fiction. So I'm definitely reading this in May, and that will have completed the shortlist. And then the final one that I bought from Hive was Afropean, Notes of Black Europe. So if you've seen my last couple of videos, I had this on Kindle and read it and absolutely bloody loved it. 5 stars. Honestly, this is absolutely fantastic. Why am I holding a physical copy? Well, guys, it is because I am the type of person who read an amazing book on Kindle and looked at it and was like, I really want to feature that on my Instagram feed. So I bought a physical copy. That's just who I am, and I'm okay with that. I'm alright with that. But to be honest, I'm pretty sure I bought the Kindle book for like 99p last year, so I feel better about having bought a full price physical copy. Yes, totally justifiable. So that is all of the books that I bought. I can't even say it's not all of the books in any sense of that phrase. There's no part of that phrase is true. That's more of the books that I bought in April. And I will be back with a third part of my April book haul at some point in the next few weeks. And I'm hoping to not have too much of a May book haul to do. I will still have some because I have actually bought more books in April that I've ordered that haven't arrived yet, so I will plump them in as a May book haul. But my lovely friend has challenged me to not buy any books while I'm doing my Pages for Periods readathon. So that means that I shouldn't have much of a May book haul, which is very exciting and very unusual. I mean, who knows? You might even get it down to one video, guys. I can't guarantee that because I can't even remember what I've ordered anymore, but it's possible. How amazing would that be? Anyway, I'll shut up. I'm just rambling for the sake of it. I hope you're all very well. Hope you're having a lovely weekend, week, whatever day it is, what is time. And I will see you again soon for another video. Bye!